Alrighty, I'm just making sure this is recording. This is gonna be my raw thoughts on the whole Ghosts of Yotei new drama. It's not the first time that this has happened. I talked about Ghosts of Yotei forever ago, when people were going after Erika Ishii and they were essentially trying to harass this voice actress because of her political view and political opinions, which has fuck all to do with the creation of a video game in terms of like you being a voice actor, you know. I had people who had screen caps and stuff like that, voice actors saying, you know, we rarely get a hold of the script itself for changing around creative tendencies. We may get a word in edgewise once in a while, but that all belongs to the creative directors. We have no say in the matter. We're just there to deliver our performance, mocap, and voice act, and that's it. And there was a bunch of dumb fucking comments of people saying, oh no, Erika Ishii is going to infect her politics inside of Ghosts of Yotei, and none of these people have played the game yet. It's real facts. Like, you can argue with a wall, it's fucking true. None of them have played the game yet. They don't know that protest and all this other shit they were making up is going to be part of the storyline. We don't know anything else about the game other than the story is Atsu is going after the Yotei 6 and that's it. So I said people were being preemptive about it and it was a nothing burger, and I still stand true to what I said in those original videos. I also said that if a voice actor blocks you because you are a loud voice that seems to be non-productive, problematic, then I'm sure studios have a list of these people, and is going to be vice versa with the topic that I'm talking about today. Now, for those people that are unaware, Charlie Kirk, who was a popular commentator, I think he was a right-wing commentator, he was at a Utah event sort of debating and giving his public opinion as to what he thinks, and he does this often. He goes around and he debates other people and he offers the floor to them in these debates. And he was shot dead a couple of days ago. Now, apparently there were game devs that were making jokes about this, or they were liking tweets, and one of them happened to be like two people from Sucker Punch, right? And going down, I think it was a joke of, and they fired this creator. This guy's name is, he's a senior character artist, his name is Drew Harrison, and they fired him because of this joke where it's like, I hope the shooter's name is Mario so that Luigi knows his bro got his back, which I think is a reference to the CEO of a healthcare organization. He was gunned down by someone named Luigi, and this is sort of making a joke, tying those two in with a video game reference. And he was fired for this. Now, there was a call to arms. There were people saying that, oh, I'm not buying Ghosts of Yotei anymore. I even saw one dude say, and this is so fucking stupid to me, by the way, I saw one dude say that I never had interest in buying the game in the first place. Now I definitely don't have interest in buying the game anymore. We're gonna start with that. First and foremost, what the fuck kind of stupid comment is that, right? That's so performative. That's like so attention whore based. That is something where it's like you want to be seen. Because in my personal opinion, if you already made the decision to not buy a game, then you're standing 10 toes down already, and you don't need to make the same sort of statement twice. It makes no sense to me. It feels like if someone says they're not buying something, they were never buying something in the first place, and all of a sudden they say, well, I'm definitely not buying it now. What? To me, it's like, what? Okay, you've made the choice eons ago. I don't think it brings much substance to the table to reiterate that again. If you made your decision, that is your decision. And there were people who were never planning to buy this game, looking for a reason to not buy it, and this is the one that they found. As for what I think about people making dark jokes and all that other business and whatnot, and saying, oh, this is a terrible, horrible tragedy, and it is a terrible situation. Like, someone died from political violence. But do I have to really like said person? Do I have to really feel empathetic to said person who said empathy does not exist to them? They think it's a frail word. Someone who said, if my daughter gets raped, I'm so pro-life that I will let her have the baby. Yes, gun deaths should happen as a part of the casualty to protect the Second Amendment. So all of these shootings and whatnot, yeah, sure, fine, that's a necessary evil. It's just, what? I can see why people don't like Charlie Kirk. I can see why people don't respect Charlie Kirk. I can see why people are kind of saying that, well, you guys on the right, you've made a bunch of fucked up dark jokes. Whether it comes to like showing George Floyd and a fucking Assassin's Creed thumbnail and avatar and making fun of the whole I can't breathe thing. So now all of a sudden you want some empathy, right? You want people to feel bad for what you're feeling, right? And no, I equate that the same to respect. I don't have to feel the same way that you do for a boycott. And you're not gonna lump me in a box. You're not gonna lump me in a basket. The person in question already got fired. So why does PlayStation all of a sudden now, you want them to make a double down statement when they already said they fired the person and they no longer work at Sucker Punch? In my personal opinion, when you were vetoing to get that person out, the deed is done. It's over. They got fired, right? But to the perpetually angry phenotype, the stereotype of people, that's not enough for them. It's not. So it's like, well, you fired them, good job, but I'm gonna need an official fucking announcement, and I'm gonna need all these other employees purged, and then I'm gonna stop my boycott of Ghost of Yotei. What? It's like, what? Okay? The person who made the joke that you did not like is not there anymore. What more do you fucking need? And I think this is coming from people who want to go like scorch earth on a studio they never liked in the first place. Therefore, that's why they want to continue to light the pyre. Personally speaking, even if I did feel like some respect for Kirk or whatever, he said some horrible, deplorable things that I personally definitely disagree with. I feel bad for his family. For him, maybe not so much, right? But even if I was on the side of, okay, I respected Kirk, I would be like, okay, they fired him. They got rid of the person that I cried about and got upset about and got mad about. That's it. It's over. As long as you don't do it again, that's fine. It's like, what is going on with just how people gauge situations? Because to me, it makes no sense. I would be like, okay, stop caring. Words doesn't affect me at the slightest whatsoever. I thought you guys were like anti-cancel culture. I thought you guys were the people who said, oh, you know, all these dark, fucked up jokes about people being dead and 41% of trans suicide, and I can make this joke, that joke, etc. Stop being butthurt if you have a problem with it. I thought the far right embodied those ideals. So it's kind of funny to see the pendulum turn the other way and see that they don't, that they are getting people fired for making jokes or liking fucked up shit, which, I mean, look, some of those jokes that was being said, it was fucked up, but I liked it as well. Like, you know, some people like dark humor, and I thought you guys mainly said dark humor is subjective in the first place, right? Oh, humor is subjective. You know, the people who get offended by the stuff on South Park, they're pussies because they can't handle dark jokes if the body is like not even warm. It's like, what is your logic? Like, weren't you calling other people snowflakes who did not agree with these notions in the first place? And then, like I said, you know, shit, I said it here. I said I may talk about the Yotei drama, which is what I'm doing now, which is the Charlie Kirk stuff. But does anyone find it absolutely hilarious that the extreme right wing now wants people to be fired for Charlie Kirk jokes when they've been making many of them for years? Like I said, George Floyd, the 41%, all of that shit. And now all of a sudden it's this call of action for empathy. You don't get any empathy from me in this situation, because if you were deplorable about other victims who had their lives lost and you had some sort of issue or vendetta because they weren't like you, or they didn't have the same color skin, or they weren't the same gender as you, or they didn't have the same nationality or some other shit, or maybe you found their death funny and it was all laughs, it was haha, it was just a game that day. If you weren't feeling sorry for those victims during all the jokes that you made, then why am I gonna feel sorry for you being upset the way you are? Especially involving a piece of entertainment, a video game that everyone has many thought processes and many opinions on. I don't feel the same as you. I don't need to feel the same way as you. If you want to boycott something, that's completely and utterly fine. Don't be like MBG though, where he said, oh, I'm passing on Ghost of Yotei. Then he changes his title to, I'll be passing on Ghost of Yotei until Sucker Punch does something, as a fallback to say, yeah, I'm going to performatively make this video and say I'm not getting this game, and ultimately I'm going to get the game anyway, right? Then there's people who easily cave, and you know where I'm going with this. There's fake boycotters out there as well, where they will say I'm not getting something, and then a game comes out, it's a 9 or a 10, and they're fucking playing it next week. Like it all doesn't matter. Like, look at the fucking FGC. There were a handful of people who really didn't care about the Fatal Fury and Saudi Arabia stuff. There were still people that played that game and supported that game and didn't give a fuck. There were some who did and some who didn't. But the point I'm making is that we already live in a society where people will fold like lawn chairs and they will be fickle with their boycotts, and ultimately if they're playing the game and they bought it, it doesn't mean anything with those people in particular. Now if you mean it, that's fine, hats off to you. I do think it's rather funny when a person will say something equivalent to, I'm not buying a game, but I'm gonna try to review the game and I don't have it, right? That shit is just kind of fucking hilarious. I reviewed the demo for Stellar Blade. I determined that the game was not for me. I said I wasn't buying it. It was not up to snuff for my hack and slash standards. I did not say I'm gonna suddenly go to YouTube, press the play button, and then automatically, boom, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, I have reviewed the whole game. Do I find the community to be weird with some of the fallout with that game? Absolutely. But I didn't press the play button on the video and review a game I did not want, because I don't want it. The demo failed in its job to impress me, and that's the main factor. I don't want it. There are better games out there to play for the action genre. I'm sated right now with Ninja Gaiden 4. I don't need it. And there are some people that seem to be like they need to have coverage of a game well after the fact they decided, I'm not buying this game and I will not be specifically talking about the game for gameplay coverage, which is fine, but I'm going to pretend that I've played the game and continue to say that the game is bad well after I have already made my mind up and the game had no demo, no validity, no whatsoever. I haven't really played it. This is the thing I'm going to focus on by saying the core contents of the game itself is the worst thing in the world. Not even made by any gameplay decision to cast the game off. It's just, I've seen people say, hey, Silent Hill 2 Remake is bad. Have you ever played it? No. And I'm just like, how? No vertical slice, no nothing, no controller in the hand. How am I going to take you as valid from that aspect alone? It's weird seeing channels where they try to have this entire coverage of what AC Shadows does and what's in the contents of the game, but they have no sort of motive to play the game and discover it themselves and find out what other contents are involved. You could talk about the community, you could talk about other third-party stuff, that's fine. I'm talking about people who don't have any validity and well after launch they don't decide to play something and then they automatically say this is the worst thing of all fucking time, 0 out of 10. You have no experience on the controller whatsoever. It's just baffling to me when people do this, alright? If I hated a game that much and I still wanted to play it, like DMC Devil May Cry, the Devil May Cry reboot, then I'm just gonna find my ulterior means of buying the game. And for me, those ulterior means was playing the game on PS Plus when it dropped, and I still thought it was meh, right? You know, some cool gameplay mechanics here or there, but I thought the story was absolutely abysmal, and I waited. But I gave my experience on the game after touching it. I think this is going to happen for a lot of these rage bait channels. They're going to continue on making some ruckus about Ghosts of Yotei and Charlie Kirk well after they fired the guy who made the joke. But I'm making it very clear and explicit that I am not boycotting Ghosts of Yotei because there is not enough of a reason for me to do so, and I'm not really empathetic about Kirk fans trying to make me feel bad. This is my decision. This is the way I feel, just like how he felt about pro-life and his daughter, which is a really fucked up thing to say, and nobody rational would agree with that comment. And the fact that he's talking about how all these guns are important and how these lives are a necessary evil to be lost to gun violence when he died to gun violence is just ironic, in my personal opinion. And those ironic jokes were made, and if you can't take the joke, well, I guess you're gonna have to do the thing that you told people to do on social media when supposedly they're bullied into unaliving themselves and whatnot. Just turn the fucking screen off and walk away. Shut the fuck up, suck it up, stop being a snowflake. I mean, that's what a few of you have said to people, right? When it came to like online perceptions and how sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. It is the same ideal here when someone just isn't on the same wavelength. That's how the fuck I feel, right? If you are a person that has given so much apathy over the course of like several years, you cannot be surprised when someone else gives back the same behavior that you have felt, the same principles that you have felt, the same standards that you have felt over the years. Some of you people have perfectly demonstrated and given back so much negative apathy that it feels like a ping pong ball when it's reflected back to your direction. And now you know how it feels to receive a hollow offering. And when they don't care, you can't really be too surprised. Until then, I'm Renegade Operative. I'm signing out. Will I be playing this on launch? No. I did say that Yotei is not like a day one for me, but whenever I get around to getting it and playing it and seeing how it is myself, I'm definitely picking it up, and that's it. That's how I feel. I'm not making any half measures. I'm not making this or that. This is legitimately how I feel. You can feel the way you want to, but I'm not joining in on this bandwagon. And I said what I had to say in the past, and I'm saying what I have to say now. And in the future, those same words are going to hold up as well. At that point, though, at least I will have played the game, unlike a lot of other people who can't really grasp that they fired someone that you didn't like, and that does not represent the whole. Like, I'm sure there are people also at Sucker Punch who probably felt bad for the situation. There's probably some who didn't. But again, a lot of you people on the other side, you tell yourselves that, oh, well, you shouldn't get fired for making jokes, or you shouldn't get fired for having a differing thought process and whatnot. It's like what? The body isn't even warm, and it's still a dumb Mario and Luigi dumb joke and a dumb parallel to the CEO guy that got clapped and Charlie Kirk. Even if I was like someone who was a Kirk advocate, I wouldn't even be offended by it, because number one, I know it's the internet, and it doesn't stop at the first joke, and it wouldn't be the last joke on anybody that dies, because people just do it so many goddamn times, where it's to the point now where I see a dark joke and I'm just completely desensitized to it. Or it's like, yeah, that's to be expected, it's the internet. Right? That's the mindset that I'm in. That's the mindset that some of you people are in that are complaining about it. I thought the internet was a place where, hey, you could be desensitized, the internet is not a real place, you can say whatever the fuck you want, my freedom of speech, all that other jazz and shit like that. Which just makes it seem a bit contradictory to some of the thought processes that I'm seeing here. But I know the initial post itself is just dark fucking humor, right? And I thought you guys could take dark fucking humor. Apparently, you can't when it's convenient. So that's how I feel about it. I don't really give a fuck about this boycott. Embark on it as much as you want. Personally, for me, it doesn't affect me in the slightest, because I already was like, okay, Tsushima was aight. You know, it wasn't like Game of the Year material to me personally. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I told myself, yeah, I'll pick up the sequel if they have more options and more abilities and more things to do in the game than the first one did. And from the presentations and the breakdowns and the discussions I did, they have more weapons, more items, more everything. And that's the reason why I'm playing the game, because it looks infinitely better than the first one in terms of combat. And that's it. There's no other motivator behind it, and if you want to feel that way, go right ahead, but I don't have to feel the same way that you feel. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Take care of yourselves. Later.